Well, Dan Cammish, good to see you at the start of the season, Media Day here at Donington. I'm looking out the windows, doesn't look too bad. Do you think we're going to have a dry season this year, Dan? Because I seem to remember getting wet quite a lot last year.
Yeah, I hope so. It was. I thought it was a noticeably wetter season last year than many we've had, which plays a part in the story of the season as well. I think you look back historically, you would say at some of those races we've had in the past. I'm thinking here specifically about a BMW. Yeah. With a rear-wheel drive, when it used to go greasy, I think all the front-wheel drive guys used to rub their hands together, thinking, that they're going to really struggle. And I think Jake won or was really good at the opening round. It might have been the opening round or one of the rounds when those conditions shouldn't have suited him. And I remember thinking, what have you done? He said, I think we've really fixed it in the damp. And I was like, that's interesting. And obviously throughout the season, that showed every time it rained or every time it was damp. He was so competitive. Yeah. And then that last race, obviously, when he clinched the title, the rain came, and I think it really worked for him. So it just shows how the weather can have such a big effect on your season.
Absolutely. You had a good year last year. We spoke a lot, and I remember I can't remember whether
it's always a good sign if we speak.
It is. Which, to be fair, you've always said, isn't it? You said, you don't want to speak to me. If you don't, it means I haven't done very well. But I remember, I can't remember if it was Croft or Snetterton. And I said to you, somebody had commented to me, you've been on a podium a lot. In fact, NAPA had done very well, obviously. And they said, they referred to you as Podium Dan. And I remember you saying, but I want to be Winner Dan.
Yeah, I think I do, actually, yeah. That sounds about right.
Does that sum up last season?
Yeah, very much so. I think we had a really strong season. Certainly over that summer period, we racked up podium after podium on what is a very competitive grid. And yes, of course, I wanted to be winning, but ultimately from maybe the year before, in terms of my performance in the team and how happy I was, I think we were having a very, very good year. We were picking up a lot of points. Quite often was the top point scorer for the team, and was sticking right in there in sort of the hunt for the championship. Obviously not picking up the wins that we'd like to do. Hopefully this season could be different. But yeah, I just don't think. I think we lacked that last little bit in the car. I think that was pretty clear. We just didn't quite have that last little bit of performance that you need. The last tenth and a half, a 10th a lap, that takes you from podium finisher to winner. On our day, we did win. We won here, but we just couldn't do it enough. And I think as a team that showed. I think what did we win? 4 in total. Ash obviously got the final win of the season there at Brands. But I think BMW were 14 or something like that. So I think that tells a story. I think we did a good job as a team. I think we maximised everything. All of us did, and that was the result. 3rd and 4th in the drivers, 2nd in the manufacturers, and probably deservedly so. But actually, I think we got every ounce out of that season. That's just where it was. I think that stands us in good stead though for this season because we've got the same car, but got some new ideas. Pre-season testing looks strong. When you do have to work so hard to find that last little bit, and when you keep exploring new ways of getting a little bit more out of it, that's got to stand you in good stead. When the new season comes around, we've definitely made some advancements in different areas. And all that hard work, I think, will prove, show dividends now.
Were you pleased with the Croft test? Did you get out of it what you wanted?
Yeah. I think all pre-season's been amazing. I mean, who needs to go abroad? The weather's been incredible. We've tested in glorious sunshine all pre-season. I don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. Might finally see some rain, which would be great. Actually, I'd love some rain.
Somebody said to me there's been very little wet weather running.
We've had none. We know how well we go in the rain. I think that's whenever the rain seems to come down, we are strong as a team, and me. I feel very comfortable in those conditions, so I'm quite happy with that. But equally, we've had a decent testing program. I don't mind if it rains. It means everybody else doesn't do the laps. I feel comfortable that we can go into the race weekend tomorrow and be really competitive. So. So yeah, we'll see.
Is there a test like Croft more about what you achieve than watching what other people are doing? Because you never know what sort of setup they're running, do you? So, but you must just have a quick, sneaky look at the
I
timing
think
boards to
always,
see.
you're always sort of just having a little look, and you've got you try and get as much of an inkling into what they might and might not be doing. You know, ultimately everyone has to drive down the pit lane, so you can at least have a little look at what tyre they're on and how fresh they might look. It only gives you a guide, but also we've all done enough of it. You know, you can look down the lap sheet and you can see, you know, when someone's put a better tyre on. Because you don't just find performance. You might find a little bit, but you don't find the big gains unless you've probably put a better tyre on. You can see in the speed traps who's been pressing the button and who hasn't. It kind of stands out. So it's just a bit more homework, really. But yeah, we keep a bit of an eye. But also, you know, we look internally very much. You know, we've got 4, you know, competitive drivers, 4 lots of data. And you can work through a program, understand where you sit within that sort of group, that internal group that you're looking against, and you just got to keep believing that you're working towards the right goal, and that you're going to be there or thereabouts when it matters. Obviously, you know, we keep one eye on the competition. You'd think that there's guys out there. We believe anyway that you know, you like Tom or Jake and others probably do a very similar testing pattern to what we do. I don't think they try and show the hand too much. I think they, you know, we all know if you press the button you go quicker. So, you know, that's a given. The important thing is to know what you can do without the button, really. So we try and. You know, we try and gather as much information as we can about how fast we go around the corner bit, and what happens in a straight line is kind of not. If I can, you know, as a driver, that bit's taken care of for me. I can't deal with that bit. All I can do is
sort out the corners and the straight bits, and you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's your guide to being a racing driver.
My bit's mainly the corner bit. That's my bit. The straight line bit is someone else's department.
The hybrid weight, 80 kilos, whatever it is, might have been, has now come out, which means that the cars are running lighter and they're therefore more nimble. That's going to mean lap times are coming down, but that's going to affect the racing this year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think all of us have, well, certainly those in a front-wheel drive, I think are really happy to see the weight come out. I mean, I think we'd all forgotten how much better the cars feel, how much more alive, how much more nimble. You know, I remember, you know, obviously previously having been in the championship a few years now, when we had the weight in the passenger side, you know, up to 75 kilos. I think my first couple of years, you could really feel that weight when it went in, and you could really feel it when it came out. How it affected the car, and just how much more alive the car felt with the weight out. So much better to drive. We've obviously just become used to driving it with that weight in that effectively, and it just numbs it down. And yeah, everyone's worked hard on the grid to get the best out of that, but you can't get around the fact the weight was there. Yeah. Now you take it out, the cars are handling a lot better. They're certainly quicker, I think. You know, I'll be surprised if a lot of the lap records don't fall this year. And yeah, I think we're all enjoying it. The cars feel great. They stop better, they go better, they turn better. Hopefully they'll wear the bits out less because they weigh less. So yeah, it's just you know, ultimately I think if you ask any engineer, if you can have it lighter, we want it lighter. So I think it's a positive. Yeah.
Does it feel like it's your year?
In some ways it does, actually. Yeah, you know, I'm actually not usually one to big myself up too much. I kind of, you know, quite often just say I want to be there or thereabouts in the mix, and I let the sort of on track stuff do the talking. But yeah, actually, there's just something that feels a bit different about this. I don't know why. From the moment I sat in it, it drives again how I want it to drive. And for 3 years, I've struggled to get the car to do what I need it to do. We've been quick, we've been good, we've been mediocre at times. But you know, you look at last year, you know, we were very close to where we needed to be. We just lacked that last little bit. And I look back now at the pre-season and how much more comfortable I am in the car and how much better it's suiting me now than it ever has. And I can't help but feel that, you know, if I can apply that this year, you know, I'm going to be very, very strong and hopefully back to my best, which is where I've been aiming to get back to. So no, I do feel confident we can have a very good year. Can we win? I think we'll be in the mix at the end. Put it that way. You know, I'm actually more excited about this year than I have been in a long time.
Excellent. That's really good to hear. Have a really great season, Dan.
Thank you very much.
You're due a cracking season for
Thank
sure.
you.
So, just to finish off, as you know, at this time of the year, we ask a couple of sidebar questions.
Okay.
You get to choose. There are 5 to choose from. Choose a number between 1 and 5. First of all,
3.
3. Do you have a middle name?
No.
Really?
No,
Are
I
you
don't.
sure?
I know
You're
I-
not just hiding it?
No,
Because
I
I've had
don't.
one driver who's refused to tell me.
No, is that right?
Yeah.
No, I don't actually. No, my dad hasn't got a middle name.
Okay.
I don't have a middle name. Wife's got 2. She's greedy. But no, none for me.
One more number between 1 and 5.
2.
What's the last book you read?
Autosport, probably. Does that count?
Yeah, that'll do. That'll be fine.
I should read more.
One final question. Choose a number.
1.
Are you a good passenger in a road car?
Terrible. As this weekend just gone has proven, we went on a bit of a trip around Wales. I've never done it before. A bit of a driving club tour with my father-in-law and some friends and people that do it often in some very nice machinery. Anybody who follows my Instagram will have seen I was posting a lot. And yeah, I think at one point, and I'm not joking, I actually screamed and let myself down quite badly when I screamed and said, that's enough. I need to get. I'm done. Like, you've scared me enough now. And we weren't even going that quickly. I just don't like being a passenger. Certainly if I don't know which way I'm going. On some of those roads, some of the guys knew them very well. I didn't know them at all, and. You're going over a blind crest, and I'm going, oh my God! And on the other side, it's just open road. But I didn't know that, and yeah, I'm not a good passenger. And for that reason, I don't do any of any of the driver coaching stuff I do. I only do it on a laptop.
Yeah.
I don't sit in the car. There's some people out there that are fantastic at that, and fair play to them. To be able to sit there and teach and coach someone while they're hair raising around the track. I'd just go quiet and hold on, or scream as it turns out. So no, much prefer the driving seat to the passenger seat.
Fantastic. Have a great season.
Thank
Dan.
you.